where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخْوَيْكُمْ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Now, this verse has four parts in it. The first part is إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ, which means that the believers are but from one brotherhood. All of the believers are brothers. That's the first part. The second part is فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ إِخْوَيْكُمْ. So make peace between your brothers. If there's a dispute amongst your brothers, amongst the believers, um, make peace between themselves. And be mindful of Allah, be muttaqi, be pious. That's the third part. And the fourth part, which is in the end, if you've achieved these three goals, then Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ turhamun. I've asked you to follow these, to do these three things, and that is for you, so Allah will show His mercy upon you. Now, when we see that there's a dispute, when we see our brothers, our mu'min brothers, believers, they have a dispute amongst each other, sometimes we see different reactions from different people. There are certain people who want to fuel that fight with hatred, and they enjoy watching people fight with each other. So when there's a disagreement amongst certain mu'mineen, others want to enjoy it and they want them to fight. And when they fight, they get, they get happy. To them, that's fun when watching people fight. So certain people, what they do is this, in between, they fuel up that dispute and this, spread lies against each other, against those two parties or those two mu'mineen, in order for them to fight with each other. These are certain kind of people. And then there are others. When they know that there are mu'min brothers and they're in a dispute, they're fighting, it is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make peace amongst your brothers. So there can be two kinds of situations even in this. You can say, well, I don't care. Those two people, they're fighting. I don't care. Let them fight. Then the third thing could be, well, if they're fighting, it's good. I'm enjoying it. Let them fight. And I'll, I'll fuel in certain lies and they'll fight even more and I'll enjoy it. And the third thing is, no, I'll make peace amongst them. These are the three situations. You cannot remain indifferent when your brothers are fighting, because it is the command of Allah to make peace amongst your brothers. So if you see there's a fight, you cannot say, well, I don't care, let them fight. No, that's also out of question. The other thing, like if you fuel that fight with hatred and lies and backbiting, that in itself then is haram. And what is right, what is accurate is, what Allah wants us to do is, like if there's a dispute, go and resolve it for them. Go and talk to your brothers. And even, it is said that even if you say a lie, the people fighting, that guy said, I don't like his face. Now, don't go and tell the other guy he said that he doesn't like his face. Say that he said that you're a very handsome guy. And that's a lie. But it is allowed to lie to make peace amongst two brothers who are mu'min. So, therefore, that's one part of it. Now, innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. These mu'mineen, these brothers, all of the mu'mineen, who are they? They are your brothers. Now, brothers have got rights. And this is, by the way, when Allah says, innamal mu'minuna ukhwa, all mu'mineen are brothers, it's not something like Allah is showing you as an example. Like He's saying that, it's not a reality, But Allah says, well, they're like your brothers. Allah does not say that they're like your brothers. Allah says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ, they are your brothers. Therefore, in Mustadrak al-Wasail, there's a hadith from the Ma'asum. It says, لأن المؤمنون أخو المؤمن لأبيه وأمه. The Ma'asum says, when your brother is a mu'min, when Allah says that your mu'min brother, your mu'min, the other guy, all mu'mineen are brothers, how do they become your brothers? He says they're your brothers from your mother's side, and they're also brothers from your father's side. Allahu Akbar. From both sides, they are your brothers. If they are mu'min, they are your brothers. So it is in the literal sense. It's not like Allah does not intend to say that they are your brothers. They are your brothers literally. And that's one hadith. And then there's another hadith in Usul Kafi from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Like I said, all like if you're brothers, Momineen are brothers. If they're brothers, then brothers have got rights, right? And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says and it is in Kafi, narrated in Kafi, Ma ubid Allahu bi shay'in afdala min ada'il haqqil mu'min. He says, Allah, if you're praying, if you're worshipping, you want to be servant of God, there's nothing better than giving out the rights of your brothers, of the mu'mineen. So if you're fulfilling the rights and you're attending to this thing that your brothers have got rights, your mu'mineen have got rights, and you give them their right, then you are the best servant of Allah. That's the best worship. That's the best ibadah that you can do. Salawat bi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And there are rights. And what are those rights? All mu'mineen are brothers. They have rights. What are those rights? The rights that have been given in lots of ahadith. I'll just summarize them, and I'll speak to you about them one by one. If you know your mu'min brother is hungry, feed him, right? Number two, and now these are the rights of a mu'min. There's a mu'min, he's hungry. Doesn't matter if he's wealthy or poor or whatever. He's hungry, right? Okay, so he's your friend. Feed him. And let me tell you something. When we think we're inviting people for dinner, for a meal, we think that, okay, it's kind of like a burden. But really, actually, it is something which is a blessing in disguise. Allah rewards you a lot if you feed people. So, feeding someone who's hungry, it's irrelevant if he's poor or wealthy or whoever it is. If he's your mu'min brother, it is his right that if he's hungry, feed him. That's it. Get DoorDash or whatever if you can't feed him. Like if you can't cook meals, pick up your phone. Feed your brother. Number two, if he's got an issue, resolve that issue for him. If he's in a problem, solve that problem. That's his right. Because he's your mu'min brother. He's in a problem. He's got an issue. Now it is upon you you have to make sure that problem is solved. So it's not just his problem. If it's a mu'min brother, Allah is saying that his problem is your problem. Your problem is his problem. So if you're mu'mineen, nobody is alone in that problem. Number four, if he owes someone a loan, if he owes someone money, he's in debt, then his loan is not just his loan. If you can do something about it, Allah asks you to go, and even though he doesn't even know, you go and pay out his loan. That's his right. If you can do it, if you can help him out, help him out. And then after that, once he's dead, taking care of his family and of his kids. Usually in our societies, it's the man who earns bread and butter for the family, right? He's the guy who's gonna bring money to his house, and he's taking care of the bills, mortgage, and everything. He's dead. Who's gonna do it? So all mu'mineen, other mu'mineen are required to take care of his kids and his family. That's his right. And then, if there's someone who's committing an atrocity upon him, someone is zalim upon him, then help him out. Like for example, he is, uh, let's say, you go to Pakistan, back home, Pakistan, right? And you're not allowed to do the azadari. In certain places, you're not allowed to do it in your house or somewhere. So what happened is the guy, he said, well, I'm going to do it for Imam Hussein. That's my right. That's my legal right. I can do it. That's part of my religion. I'm going to do it. The police comes and catches him, takes him away. So that is zulm. Now that zulm is being done, that atrocity is being committed upon that brother Momin. It is upon you to make sure that he gets out of that situation. Go find a lawyer. Do that. I mean, whatever you can do. Go to the police station. Go after him. That is his right, and it is an obligation upon you to help him out in any kind of a situation where he is, under threat by a zalim. Help him out. And when he's not there, and there's certain things that he needs, he was to be, you know, well, for example, he's in Toronto, right? And he leaves and he goes to Vancouver or wherever he's traveled outside the city. Uh, and now there were certain things that he was supposed to receive, but because he's not there, who's going to receive it on his behalf? So it is you who's going to do it on his behalf. You can go and receive it. You can say, well, my friend is not there. For example, if there's his car needed to be fixed or whatever, yeah. So, or he needed a delivery or something that he needed to be received by him, which was really important, but he's not there. So he shouldn't have to be like going through all of these problems. Like he would have to pick up a phone and call you and request you and all of that. If you know it, just go and help him out and do it on his behalf. So these little things, even these little things, are his rights, and it is an obligation upon you to help him these things, and not to stop helping him in any way. If he is sick, go and see him. Yes, he's in quarantine. If the doctors have told you not, don't go near him, don't. That's different. But if it's not contagious and if you can, put a mask on your face and go and it won't harm you, then you should go and see him. If he's sick, go and see him. And if and this is all of the things that I recited before you that I've done that from Usul Kafi, the book of Ahadith of Alat Shayu, which is an authentic book. If he invites you for a dinner, accept that invitation. Don't say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot make it. I'm not, because you want to go out with your family somewhere, or you have a little excuse, you don't want to do it. So, or he doesn't cook that well, you don't like his food that he offers, so you refuse. If it's a brother moment and he invites you, right? Sometimes people don't know. Like if it's a brother moment, he said, please come to my house. People think that, oh, he's just doing a takalluf, which you say in Urdu. That's just, our values, our manners. He doesn't mean it, and I won't also go there. No. If somebody invites you, he's a brother moment, he should do it with his pure intentions. He should invite you if he wants to invite you, he should mean it, whatever he's doing, right? And you, as a brother moment, if you receive the invitation, you're supposed to go there. That's an obligation. That's his right. So, And even when he sneezes, pray for him. Can you imagine the rights of a mu'min? A mu'min brother sneezes, you say, Yarhamukullah. And then he's supposed to say in the return, Yaghfirullahu lakum. These are the rights of a mu'min. And we just don't know these things, and we just mess around with our brother mu'mins like it doesn't make any difference. But Allah says otherwise. Whatever his need is you should make sure that he's not alone in it, in seeking that problem. Like fulfilling his need is also your problem. And when he comes, these are the Islamic manners, these are his rights. If there's a place where you were sitting, get up, offer him your own place. Then, my brother, Momin, come and sit here. That is your place. Give him your own place. If you've got a servant, you don't have them here, but in different countries back home, you've got servants. So your servants are his servants. Send your servants to his place. Say, help him out. So you can imagine there's so many rights. I can go on and on and on. There's just a minute or two left. But the thing is that there's so many rights of the mu'mineen, and we don't realize that these mu'mineen, Allah has said that these mu'mineen are your brothers. These brothers have got rights, and it is our obligation. It is haram to ignore these rights of the mu'mineen. And we live our whole lives, 50 years, 70 years, 60 years, and we don't care about these things. And these things are so serious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you do these things, I will show mercy upon you. And if that means that if you do the opposite, if you don't do those things and you don't care about these things, then you are far, far, far away from the mercy of Allah. Allah will not be merciful upon you. And everybody needs Allah's mercy. Therefore, if you see mu'min brothers around you, be careful. Help them out. And they've got rights. Salawat wa Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. When's the 4 minutes? Any questions? Any questions? Zahir? Yes. Let me give you a mic. Take the mic. Yes, you have a question. The question is, if two friends are fighting with each other, but you don't know what they're fighting on, right? And who's right and who's wrong? Or should you just not mind your own business and just stay away from it, right? Is that what you're saying? Allah says, help them. The Western civilization says, no, just mind your own business. Don't poke your nose in other people's problems or businesses. That's nothing to do with you, right? But Allah says, no, if you see that they're your two mu'min brothers, they're fighting, you don't know what they're fighting about. You don't know who's right and who's wrong. But your duty is to make peace between them, right? So it doesn't make any difference if you don't know what's going on. You just know that they're fighting. Allah in this verse does not say that make sure that someone who's right, support him. It should have been like that, right? Because that's common sense. If there are two people fighting, first you need to know who's right and who's wrong, and then support the guy who's right. But no, it is an exception. In this verse, Allah says if there are two mu'mineen, it doesn't make any difference who's right and who's wrong. What's important is that they're right, that they're fighting. So what you're required to do is make peace between them. Right? Any other questions? जी बिस्मिल्लाह क्यों नहीं मैं खुदा से शुरू करता हूँ मरकज़ बैद में झगड़ा हो गया है तो मैं अच्छा नाइस स्वीट आदमी है उसमें बात करूंगा वो शायद माने के ना माने मैंने कहा कि ऐसा करें
ان کو خدا را اکٹھا کر دیتے ہیں. ایک سے وہ جو مولانا صاحب سے اس سے بات کی وہ تھوڑا نرم ہوئے. دوسری پارٹی سے میں کہا ذرا مل کے آپ کی چلے میرے ساتھ مین چلے سے بات کریں. اس نے کہا کہ شاہ صاحب ہو جائے گا, چھوڑو اس بات کو. اس کے زمرے میں وہ گناہ گار ہے یا
میں عرض کرتا ہوں, میں آپ کی بات سمجھ گیا. دیکھیں امر بالمعروف اور نہی المنکر میں یہ چیزیں آتی ہیں کہ اگر تو آپ کے مومنین بھائی لڑ رہے ہیں تو ان کے درمیان میں صلح کرائیں, ان کا اس کریں. لیکن جب آپ کو یہ معلوم ہوا کہ وہ دوسرا بندہ میں اس کے پاس جاؤں گا وہ میری توہین کر دے گا, میری بات نہیں سنے گا یا اس کے اوپر اثر نہیں ہوگا, تب اس صورت میں یہ امر بالمعروف جو کہ نہایت واجب ہے اور نہی عن المنکر وہ بھی ختم ہو جاتا ہے, موقوف ہو جاتا ہے. کہ اگر آپ کو یقین ہو نا دوسرے کے اوپر اثر نہیں ہوگا, یا مثلا دوسرا جو ہے وہ میری توہین کر دے گا پلٹ کے. اچھا اب جس نے کیا وہ غلط کر رہا ہے, کیونکہ آپ نے اچھی بات کی, آپ نے بہت اچھی بات کی کہ اتحاد ہو, پیار محبت ہو, یہ ہو وہ, لیکن دوسرے نے اس کو غلط طریقے سے لے کے آپ کی بات کو سنا نہیں, تو یقیناً جو بھی صاحب تھے تو وہ غلط کیا انہوں نے, آپ نے اچھا کیا, آپ نے اپنا فریضہ انجام دیا, لیکن دوبارہ آپ نہیں گئے کیونکہ مناسب نہیں تھا, تو دوبارہ نہ جانا بھی درست ہے.
یہ نہیں
یعنی بات کرنا,
چلتے ہیں, چل کے ان سے ریکویسٹ کرتے ہیں, ان سے بات کرتے ہیں, اگر نہ مانے تو پھر تو علیحدہ بات ہے.
جی جی
ہم تک گئے ہی نہیں,
میں سمجھ گیا.
ہم گئے نہیں, ہم نے کیا کہ شادت کرتے ہیں.
ہاں انہوں نے کہا رہنے دیں جی, چھوڑ دیں.
نہ جانا بہتر تھا.
نہیں جانا بہتر تھا, لیکن انہوں نے جنہوں نے روکا انہوں نے غلط کیا. میں سمجھ گیا آپ کی بات. اللہم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.